Finland shares a long border and history with Russia. How has that shaped your strategy in dealing with Russia-linked disinformation and influence operations?
I think, of course, the border has been there for a long time, but now I think today's world, the media is playing a more important role than ever before, and a lot of efforts has been done to promote media literacy. It's not an easy effort, it's not a simple solution, but media literacy is something that is implemented in the Finnish society for a long time and step by step developed for all. And I think what is really important in the Finnish context is that in the Finnish society, Finland is not a big country. We have 5.5 million people there, and we need to take care of all of them and all of us. And that's why it's one important aspect is to promote the media literacy equally for all. So that's why Finland is implementing media literacy for every school level, starting already from the early childhood education and basic education and so forth. So we want to take care of all people, and that requires also clear strategic decisions to implement the media literacy also in the policy level.
So media literacy is kind of mindset rather than merely a school subject as we regard it here in Kosovo. What should be done for us in order to understand it and approach it that way?
I think what is really important to notice is that media is constantly evolving and changing. And for example, if we think about what was media culture 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it has changed rapidly. And that's why media literacy is something that is this critical thinking or critical lens that you approach the world in sense, and it needs to be adjusted to the surrounding media environment that we are living. That's why it's not like simple solution or this kind of one lesson that you have, but actually it takes a very long time to develop that kind of a lens towards the world, and you have this autonomy towards, and you can recognize the good information in the media environment. One example of this is that media literacy in the Finnish education, for example, is integrated in different disciplines. So it's not like separate subject or separate lesson, but it's actually something that is taught in Finnish language, in history studies, in social studies, in art, for example. And every of these disciplines, they approach the media literacy from different perspectives. And I think that supports this kind of a comprehensive idea of media literacy that can help people in different situations that they face in their lives.
So in Kosovo, we first have to teach media literacy to all the teachers, like even maths, so that they could be able to teach it then to the young people.
Yeah, the professional education is really important, and the professional capacity building, because I think if educators have that kind of awareness of media literacy or media education, then they can implement the media literacy when it's relevant. It's not something that I value this kind of approach in media literacy, that media literacy is not something extra or something like extra work that you need to do, but rather it's something that you can integrate in your already existing lessons. Because if you think about different media devices, media content, media phenomena, they are related to all of those subjects, and teachers can utilize that relevance to teach the media literacy for their students in every subject.
So it has to be some kind of strategic approach of our educational system, like from the top.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially for the sustainable development. Of course, you can trust those active teachers or active educators or active professionals that they are doing their best in the circumstances. But if you want to have strategic development and sustainable structures, then you need to have the decisions in the top level as well. In Finland, for example, we have a national policy for media literacy, and that covers like the whole society, not only like education system, but the different sectors. And but specifically in the education system, it's really important to have the place for the curriculum, just to ensure the equality for media literacy. So it's not only for some privileged people who have the capacity to have the critical thinking, but it's actually, if you think about the role of media that we have in today's society, culture, different communities, and even like everyday life, you recognize that how meaningful part media is, and that's why media literacy should be available for all.
Mm-hmm. And this is, let's say, the core idea of building the resilience towards different kinds of foreign influences through information, disinformation, misinformation, the one that the Finland has built within itself and among its people.
Yeah, I think that solution is something that we have developed for a long time. It's not like simple fix or simple solution, but it's, I think one of the central key aspects is the good cooperation and trust-based cooperation culture that we have. So it's the public officials, they have a really important part to create the sustainable structures, but as well the universities, they do a lot of research on these topics, the education system, the media companies, for example, they play an important role in the Finnish society in media education, and also the civil society organization. So it's a collaborative effort to develop that kind of broad-based media literacy.
Lauri, always when we have a chance to discuss with Finnish experts and diplomats and even just ordinary citizens, we are very much curious to learn and to know about how has Finland reached this stage of resilience. And I want to recall a short paragraph that the Finnish ambassador wrote in the op-ed for KOHAVISION's New Year's edition. And it kind of shows that it has to be really a strategic decision. And she said that when Finland gained independence in 1917, it faced immense challenges, limited resources, harsh climate, a difficult geopolitical position. The future was uncertain, but Finland made a strategic decision. And that decision was that the greatest potential lays in its people, and it invested in its people, in education, teacher training, civic skills, lifelong learning, and that choice shaped its democracy. Media literacy becoming a core part of this vision.
Yeah.
Now, Kosovo marked its 18th anniversary of independence this year, and in a symbolic sense, we have reached adulthood as a state, but we still face and we struggle with disinformation, polarization, and actually the absence of this structured media literacy in our education system. I mean, when we make those parallels, what comes into your mind?
Yeah, that was a quite good parallel, and this metaphor of reaching the adulthood at the age of 18, I think that's a good example about think about the future, because that is some kind of a stepping stone that you really need to like evaluate what is the future that we are reaching for, and that's why I think education is always an investment for the future, and we need to take care of all people and to have those kind of decisions made that support the long-lasting efforts, because it's like in anything in life, it's about lifelong learning, and that's why it's not only like the small things, but more like strategic. I think that kind of strategic solutions can really actualize the potential that is there, but we need to have clear support and those sustainable structures that really make the difference in everyday life, even though there is of course the responsibility for all of us, but still it needs to come from the top levels throughout the whole society.
So, and the steps should be which?
I think collaboration, recognizing the importance of media literacy and recognize the situation that we are living at the moment, but also think about the future. What is the society that we want to support? What kind of a good life we want to support through these methods? And then, find the right solutions that suits here. I think what is important is the capacity and the ground that is supported for us all to really find the right solutions that works with us. Because, for example, in Finland, the situation has changed quite a lot during the years, and different solutions needs to be adjusted in different ways. I think that is some important aspect. But now we are living very turbulent times at the moment, and it's very tempting to see media literacy only as a protective aspect towards the disinformation. But what I want to highlight is also the empowerment, because we need to focus on the future as well. It's not only about that in this world that we try to protect against different harms, but we actually need to support the sustainable growth in the society and support the empowerment. For example, to support strengthening the democracy and the inclusion in the society and the culture as well.
Through media literacy?
I think that is one solution. It's not the only solution, but it's one of the in the toolkit.
And I mean, how does Finland respond? Let's say now we were talking about Russia's information manipulation, while maintaining again democratic openness and free media.
I think the answer is like twofold. On the one hand, we need the people to have the right skills and the skill set and knowledge and their media literacy as an individual, that they can take care of themselves and also the closest one in their families and in their friends. But also we need to have the structures in the society. For example, I think that it's not only that we teach media literacy for people, but we need to have those kind of aspect in the society in shape. For example, the freedom of speech is very high level in Finland, and the democratic society, and people feel as they are part of the society, they trust the different institutions, but that trust is not like naive trust, but it actually comes from practice, and it comes from that there's a low level of corruption, there is a transparency in the society, there is a strong media in the society, and journalism works as a part of the democratic society, and then people can evaluate their role in the society.
Do people in Finland trust media? And I mean, did institutions through transparency earn that trust? Or I mean, what was
I think this is a dynamic that supports each other. It's not like naive trust that I trust everything, but and it's not also as this kind of a skepticism that you don't trust anything. There is this kind of fine balance that you need to evaluate the things that you can trust, and do you trust them? And then they need to be trustworthy also. So that's why it's like combination of the structures and also the people. And I think when we discuss media literacy in relation to disinformation and misinformation, I think that it's not only about focusing too much on the negative, the fake news and misinformation and analyzing those, but actually what you need to have is to understand how the journalism works in the society at large, and then you can see, when you know how good and trustworthy information is produced, then you don't need to care about understanding the misinformation, because you can select the quality media and the information.
We still have not reached that level, but I just have one last question. You are here with a program which is supported by the Finnish embassy, and it has to do with training teachers. Can you just a little bit tell us about that? I mean, obviously that it's not starting from the president and government, it's starting from down, but can you just give us some info about your presence, actually, the reason why you are here?
I think media literacy is something that we can, as a country, Finland can support, and other Nordic countries can support, and to give value to other countries and share experiences and insight what we have done in those countries, and then to support the development in other contexts as well. And here I have been cooperating with this Kosovan organization called Education Empowerment Initiative, and I have been doing this training for trainers to have to increase their capacity to media literacy development, so they can in the future act as a leader also for the media literacy development. And I'm going to meet also our local teachers, and hopefully we can have a nice discussion and share experiences about and finding right solutions for media literacy development here. So it's not only about that I'm trying to tell what should be done and what media literacy should be, but I want to engage in discussion so we can find the right solutions also for the Kosovan context.
Mm-hmm. Will you also, have a message, or would you have a message for our institutions, not just teachers, on the approach that they should have in order to have this structured media literacy strategy?
I think what I would like to highlight is that media literacy is more important than ever, and it's not something that is only for responsibility for one stakeholder. What we need is to have cooperation so that every sector in the society have a say what they can do to promote media literacy. So it's not something that we can just put on the shoulders of individual teachers, but actually every organization in every sector can do something. It can be professional development. For example, in Finland, a lot of things has been done also for adults media literacy development, because the media culture changes quite rapidly. So that's why we need to update our knowledge also among adults and senior citizens. So that's why it's also important to integrate media literacy not only in the schools and for children and young people, but to find solutions to develop it also for adults.
Lauri, thank you very much for being part of our discussions about media literacy, and I hope to see you again in the future in Kosovo.
Thank you very much for having me. It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Shihemi radhën e ardhshme me mysafirë të tjerë. Faleminderit që na përcollat.